national televised roundtable discussion about a hot topic right now, marijuana. Now, let me introduce to you our speakers for today. On my left is Asher, a fierce advocate for the legalization of marijuana because he believes the economic benefits outweigh the potential ramifications. On my right is Dr. Rose. She is an avid opponent of the legalization of marijuana because she believes the health and psychological consequences are not worth a couple bucks for the government. Far left, we see Mrs. Rose, an unbiased view to the legalization of marijuana. Before we get started, I would like to give a huge thank you to our sponsor, our camerawoman, and the woman behind the scenes, Shin Lee. Alright, let's hear about the background of marijuana from Asher. So Asher, what is marijuana?
Cool. Thanks, sis. Marijuana is something I love doing. Like on a daily basis. Like it's literally such a relaxing, soothing activity. Here in SoCal, we totally love marijuana. Or as I like to call it, Mary Jane Iguana. I spend all my money on it. Speaking of money, I want to talk about my billionaire tendencies.
So, how much of the money that you spend on marijuana ends up going back to the state in the form of a tax?
Wow, you really hit me with these stimulating questions. Gnarly, dude. So I got a lit job at this place called the University of Berkeley. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's pretty prestigious. Big words. I know. The peeps told me that the states take 15% of the money I spend on my tax, in California, on marijuana. If I'm doing the math quickly, that's $1 billion in revenue for the good buddies, the government. Good thing I have more money than that.
Thank you. Now let's hear from another speaker, Dr. Rose. How do you justify your view that marijuana should not be legal if it evidently brings such high revenue for the government? Hi, as you said, I'm Dr. Rose, and before I get started, I just want to tell you a little bit about myself and tell you about my background. So I got my undergraduate degree in biochemical engineering from Stanford. I then went on to study pre-med at Harvard. Finally, I got my PhD from Johns Hopkins. Not to sound conceited, but I am clearly educated. And let me tell you, I did not get where I am today by smoking marijuana. Research on research done by some of my most accomplished peers at Harvard shows that marijuana is harmful to the brain, the chromosomes, and the immune and reproductive systems. New research shows that marijuana use, especially in teenagers, can lead to depression, thoughts of suicide, and schizophrenia. I don't know about you, but I don't think that such harmful drugs should be illegal in such an amazing country as the United States.
Okay. Wow, you really have a lot of accomplishments under your belt. Asher, what is your input on the social costs balancing the economic benefits? Dr. Rose made a really convincing argument, I have to say. One time I was reading and I came across this study from Colorado State University, and I'm pretty sure they said even though there are some bad social things, this one country county, Pueblo or something, and I quote, had 35 mil in positive something or another. I don't know about you, but that seems pretty lit to me. So even though there are some bad things that could happen.
Excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt, but you just admitted that there are some potential downfalls to marijuana. So are you just that big of a druggie that you can't risk, that you're willing to risk the future of America for some high feeling?
Well, excuse me, ma'am, but I was respectful and listening while you were talking, so I may not be as smart as you, but I would appreciate some respect. Woo. So back to what I was saying. The social costs are mostly resulting of poor planning, stupid decisions. So that's an easy fix. Just educate the peeps.
Mrs. Rose, we haven't heard from you yet. What is your perspective on this topic? The state of being exposed to outside substances such as marijuana that prevents proper judgment is an issue on the psychological/moral standpoint. The argument often used is that by using drugs recreationally, the user impairs himself. Therefore, recreational drug use is wrong. When a substance causes oneself to act in a different way than he would if he had not taken drugs, state governments must take into account that people's actions may become unpredictable. However, people have the choice whether or not they choose to allow their judgment to be impaired. So at the same time, the state government may not be allowed to make a moral choice for an individual. And how do you justify the relationship of marijuana usage between society and an individual? Marijuana use does not directly impact others, mentally or physically, other than perhaps the problem of peer pressure. So there is no credible argument regarding multiple people. Therefore, the state government should not be necessarily allowed to legalize marijuana simply for the reason of affecting individuals' rights. Well, there you have it, folks. We're out of time for this segment. This is APR. Tune in next week for a roundtable discussion if pineapple belongs on pizza.